Hi guys, William and Carol here and welcome back to my channel. Before I get into this video, I just want to stress that I am not an expert of any kind. Anything I say is just my opinion. It's not an instruction. You need to get other advice before you do anything with your own health, but it's just suggestions and ideas for what I am about. So this video is going to be sort of a review of the week, and I'm going to leave the maps and video running of what I've been up to this week while I talk about the important issue of positive and negative reinforcement. So before I get into that, positive reinforcement is the addition of something, a stimulus, to make a behaviour more likely. So having some praise that makes it more likely that you're going to continue with your weight loss program, or giving a child a star mark because they've done well in the spellings to encourage them to do well next week as well. So that's the positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is, it can be thought of as punishment. So you are criticising, or you're punishing a child for doing badly in the spelling test. That would be negative reinforcement. So when it comes to major behaviour change, such as a weight loss program or quitting smoking, it's often a large adverse event that is the negative reinforcement that makes you finally wake up and realise that you're going to have to do something. And that's exactly how it was for me. For me, that was a heart scare. So that negative reinforcement is often needed right at the beginning to kick-start you. But once you've kick-started the process, then negative reinforcement becomes destructive. So constantly thinking about your size, constantly thinking about what you can't do, actually inhibits your ability to address those very things. And it's much more effective to find ways of making you feel good about yourself, finding ways of rewarding the successes that you have. So and some of those things are intrinsically rewarding. You know, losing 10 pounds is intrinsically rewarding. Being able to do something that you really couldn't do before is rewarding. However, the changes are often so small that they're not intrinsically rewarding, and that you actually need to force the dopamine release that we get when we trigger these reward centres in the brain, by reminding yourself, or other people telling you, other people praising you, other people commenting on your new look, on what you've just done that you couldn't do before. And so it's a mixture of self-talk and then what other people are doing, and those things are really important. So if you criticise yourself, then you're much more likely to fail. So for me this week, last Monday's weigh-in was a 1 kilo weight loss, which I should have been over the moon with. That's great, but it was much less than I've been used to. And so my self-talk was quite negative in terms of, well, you're not really lost anything, have you? And that actually makes things difficult. And I did actually have a KFC on Monday. So, you know, that kind of comfort eating thing that I didn't need, but I did it. And you know, I shouldn't have done that. So, but that's fine, it's gone. And so by rewarding myself, going, my goodness, you lost a kilo, that's brilliant, well done. You know, and visualising what a kilo of fat looks like is really useful. So quite a lot happened this week that made me kind of realise that I needed to stop with the negative self-talk. I joined a wheelchair racing group, and they've got the big racing chairs, and they run round tracks and they look amazing, and you know, they've got great bodies and all of this. And there's little old me in my little street chair, feeling completely inadequate, feeling like I could never even get in one of those chairs, and how amazing were these people that they could do these amazing speeds and so on and so forth. Completely forgetting that I've done amazing things in the last 6 months. And I'm really proud of my progress in the last 6 months, both weight and distance. And I'm really excited to see what I can do. And I should be telling myself that and not telling myself how inferior I am to these people. They were lovely people. They were welcoming, they were giving me advice about gloves, they were great. It was all in my own head, and it didn't need to be. You know, I can stand up, sit up tall, and be proud of what I'm doing. So Thursday, Friday, I went off out into the wilds, and on both days I ended up having to turn back and come back. Thursday I just was scared of running out of daylight, came back. It was cold, it was icy, but it was Saturday. It was incredibly windy, incredibly cold. Icy. I was on some really big hills, bigger than I've ever done, and the wind was blowing me back, and so I had to give up and come home. And unfortunately I have actually injured my shoulder slightly, and I'll be getting that looked at on Friday. But yeah, so I was really down, really fed up. Posted on Facebook about I'm really fed up, I'm going to have to take an extra rest day, yada yada yada, woe is me kind of thing. And these people were like, you did 22 miles in the freezing cold wind. That is an achievement. Well done. You know, kind of stop feeling sorry for yourself, pick yourself up and get on with it. Wonderful people, and I'm ever so proud to know them, really. So now I'm going to summarise my week and identify just some of the positives. So I'm not going to identify any of the negative stuff, just the positives, just the things that help me motivate myself. So Monday I managed 18 fast miles, way below the minimum speed required for the Great North Run. So really, really successful little outing. Tuesday I did just 11 miles, but I was rushing to get home for my mentoring session with my wonderful young person. And as a result I did 3 of those miles really fast uphill. So again, I was inside the target time for the Great North Run with lots of hills, so I was really pleased with that. Wednesday I had the sense to rest, which I'm not very good at, so I'm going to praise myself for that, because I did it and I completely rested, and that's what I needed. Thursday was my first ever interval training session, and I did it, and it felt weird and I was uncomfortable, but I just did it, and there were people all over watching me and I didn't care. So that was really exciting. Friday I did 13 hard hilly miles in snow and ice in the Lower Pennines. So very hilly, and I got a few PBs plus a third best 400 metres. Saturday was super hard. I had gusting winds, I had ice, I had the biggest hills I've ever seen, and I did 22 miles of that. We had ducks swimming at the side of the road, we had ice hills to climb onto on the road to get up, to get across, and I had the sense to turn around and come home. I also got a whole host of third best speeds, which were 2 miles, 1 mile, 1k and half a mile, and I made it home just after dark. I'm actually quite proud of the fact that I did turn back on the Saturday now in hindsight, rather than take any silly risks just to prove myself to myself. Instead, I have slightly injured my shoulder pushing against the wind, but we'll see what the physio says on Friday about that and what they want me to do. So I'll be having a nice easy week this week to look after this shoulder and recover. So while I'm doing all this exercise and improving my health and losing weight, I'm getting a lot of positive reinforcement from other people, and I'm very grateful for that. It is very important that I get that, and it's very important that we all get that. So I would ask you to, this week, really concentrate on noticing what your friends and family are doing and try to encourage them through positive comments. And if there's things that you don't quite approve of, then don't say, find the things that you do approve of and comment on those. Just for this week, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I am pretty confident that you will see, as long as you mean it, you will see people respond extremely positively to your enthusiasm for what they're doing. So please take the time this week to comment to your friends and family to help to encourage them in whatever challenges it is that they're addressing. But also remember to do the same for yourself as well, because that works too. So today's weigh-in was another 2.1 kilos. I am now down to 96.6 kilos, or 113 pounds, or 15.2 stone. So it's moving in the right direction. I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait to see what's to come. So thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff, and we'll see you next time.